Alright, quick update for Kadena. So we're having a nice day today. A lot of the altcoins are moving up. We've got some altcoins up, 15-20% today compared to what we've been seeing for the past couple of days. This is a nice turnaround. But let's talk about if this is just a dead cat bounce or what we can expect if a uptrend is to solidify. Let's zoom out for a second. Look at Kadena on the higher time frames. First of all, I'm actually going to draw on the Heikin-Ashi candles just very quickly. I still want to point out, volume is still very much exponentially in the favor of the bears. We're clearly in a downtrend. I mean, it's kind of like a enough said thing. Looking at the weekly Heikin-Ashi candles on Kadena, we're clearly still, very, very, brutally beat down. Daily time frame still kind of seems like we are in that sea of green. And the problem with this is, sea of red. What I mean by this is a problem when you see, you zoom out, you see this downtrend is predominantly red. And what you notice is, every now and then you get these little green spikes that are really not supported more than, a week. At most, this was like a week and a half or so. But a lot of these uptrends, as soon as they snap back over to the red, you can see, here, boom, here, boom, here, boom, here, boom, every single time snaps back down. Even if, we only see these kind of little dinky bumps and then they kind of just ride down and go sideways, once you finally solidify that move below the EMA ribbons, pairing that with the fact that you've got a rollover in the volume, in the price candles over on the Heikin-Ashis, it seems pretty black and white that nothing has changed tremendously in terms of Kadena on the Heikin-Ashi candles. That is 4 hour. We are starting to head up a tiny bit. Still, we're below the EMA ribbons. Daily, you're below the EMA ribbons, and as you can see, both daily and weekly, we're still in a huge landslide. So, like I've been saying, I really do look forward to the time where I will be DCAing back into the market. I do look forward to the time where I'll be DCAing a lot of these altcoins, because I've had my eyes on Kadena since all the way back here, $6.50, and I'm still looking for that opportune moment to, kind of to re-enter the market. But at this moment in time, I'm not seeing it. You can still see Heikin-Ashis, we're kind of rolling down a bit, losing momentum. So this bounce that we're seeing right now is very nice in of itself. But I'm going to talk about some charts. We're going to talk about these 3 charts in particular, and we're going to talk about, are these going to drastically affect what KDA is going to be able to do if we do have a slight move back to the upside. So let's continue with the price. We've talked about the Heikin-Ashis, we've looked at the weekly, and we've looked at the daily on the Heikin-Ashis. Let's start off with your momentum indicators. Now, bears are still in full control of this. I think I highlighted this in the last video that most of the time when you taper down from here, you do just see, here as well, these little bunny hills. I always talk about these bunny hills coming back up to the EMA ribbons, and every time we get in them, we just capitulate lower again. So I'm still not necessarily convinced that Kadena and the altcoin market is about to have a massive trend reversal. I could be wrong on that one, and I'm going to talk about what I'd need to see for a trend reversal in just 1 second, but I highlighted this in the last one as well. You can see a very nice potential, can't emphasize this enough, this hasn't been solidified yet. If we do come up to round about the regions of $3, $3.10, then we could potentially be witnessing a breakout for this inverse head and shoulders on Kadena. Until that happens, it is kind of just noise on a chart. We would need to move up further, and this is where I get to my point. For Kadena to break bullish, we would need to start moving above, these EMA ribbons. This would mean that we'd be breaking out of this small, very small in the lower time downtrend. This could also mean this inverse head and shoulders could bring us up to $3, but this is where I really think we still need to be a little bit cautious. Like I said, looking at this on the Heikin-Ashis, this is the point in time where we're kind of rolling down after losing momentum. So sitting on the sidelines, in my opinion, for the next day or so, waiting and seeing how the markets do react. Is this another dead cat bounce? Are we about to roll back over? Everything will be revealed in the next 24 to 48 hours, in my opinion. And so far, it's been very black and white. Looking at the Heikin-Ashi candles, every time you get these little bunny hills, not supported by more volume, not supported by good price action. it does just seem like we come into these EMA ribbons and then capitulate. So that is still something I'm looking for. So I'm really not getting out of bed for Kadena at this moment in time, if in my opinion. Yeah, so 4 hourly time frame, let's see what's going on. You can see, we'll talk about that in a second. Let's see where we are in terms of our Fibonacci's, and we'll work our way down in importance. We've come back down to your 618 fib. There is also a green line on the chart. What did we bounce on? These were the previous highs, and then this was where we bounced flip of the EMA ribbon. So there's about 1, 2, 3 touch points on this. I would definitely say that's very valid. Obviously, it's very valid. You can see we perfectly wick down to it. This is why I love technical analysis. You can see, we might be off by the tiniest amount. I mean, you cannot make this stuff up. I mean, the 618 fib perfectly back testing on this green line previous support. Very, very interesting to see what is going on. It does seem like in the short term we are obviously setting up for this bullish bounce. Obviously on the 4 hourly time frame, we've just been rejected from the EMA ribbons as well. 4 hourly, like a couple of days ago, or earlier on in the week, we also M down, and you can consider this maybe just a potential another retest of the neckline, depending on where you want to draw it from. Let's draw like a line of best fit, not trying to spend too long on this M pattern, but you can see, we've clearly broken down, we've come back, and we've back tested this. So if we do continue to move down at this moment in time, like I said, coming over to the daily once again, really solidifying that these Heikin-Ashi candles are indicative that we are about to have a roll down. It does seem like there are a lot of warning signs potentially calling for one more flush to the downside, which is what I think is going to be going on now. Let's move on. Like I said, we got rejected from the daily EMA ribbons. Tons of selling volume came in yesterday, and the problem is, we're seeing an okay amount of buying volume coming in today. Approximately 86 to 87,000 Kadena was purchased on this exchange today. So very, very interesting to see what is going on in these charts. Inverse head and shoulders definitely could be playing out, but like I said, I would be personally waiting just for another couple of days, because I think the breakdown, like rolling back down, is more likely. We, in my opinion, would have wanted to see volume come in at this moment in time after you've back tested the 618, and we really did not see an influx of volume. So this bounce back up to the EMA ribbons kind of just seems like we are going to be rolling back down soon, in my opinion. And like I said, we're going to move on, and we're going to talk about some of these charts that kind of signify that not only Bitcoin could be capitulating in a short period of time, but also a lot of the altcoins can. So let's look over at the Bitcoin chart. I really just want to spend a little bit of time on each of these charts, not spending too long. Let's jump right into it. You can see Bitcoin is still in a downtrend, getting rejected from the 4 hourly EMAs, and if I extrapolate this trend line, you can see, we've constantly been getting rejected at this point. So at this moment in time, I really don't think Bitcoin is out the clear. I don't think we should be getting too excited for Bitcoin. I don't think we should be getting too excited for altcoins. If we draw the bottom of this as well, you can potentially see that we are in, another big bear flag, and at least witnessing what Bitcoin's been doing for the past couple of months. We've seen our fair share of bear flags. This is just one of the macro ones that we've broken down from, but there are also a lot of other micro ones that have been playing out over the past couple of months or so. So Bitcoin still looks choppy. This is what I want you to take away from this. I do think Bitcoin could have one more flush to the downside before we do go back up. So that's one thing to keep an eye on. You can also see total crypto market cap 2, or this is called total 2. This is basically your total crypto market cap minus Bitcoin. What does that mean? It is the altcoin market cap. This market cap constitutes all of the altcoins in the entire market. So what do we notice with the general trend on the altcoins right now? Well, I mean, it's fairly simple. We're moving down. We're clearly in a downtrend. Whether I draw this wick or not, you can see, we've broken down from this pattern. We are in a big bear flag, or we were just in a bear flag. We did just break down, coming over to the 4-hourly time frame, you can see we were in this channel, we broke down, we've back tested it, we've back tested the 4-hourly EMAs, and you know, now it does seem like the bears are going to be taking over. So I do think the bounce for the altcoins could have already been seen, could be wrong, but you know, the charts are kind of pointing to me, and we're going to move over to the other one in just one moment's time, but the charts are pointing to me that the altcoins are about to get decimated against Bitcoin, which I've been talking about, you know, for the past 2 weeks or so now. Let's top this off on the Bitcoin dominance before we go back to KDA and quantify KDA against Bitcoin, see how it's doing against the BTC pair. Looking at the Bitcoin dominance, you can see Bitcoin dominance is breaking out on a weekly time frame. We have not seen a weekly break, and by weekly break, what I mean is a candle body close above this trend line. So if we do close a candle around this area that we are at right now, if not even better, if we come up to this 47.5% on the Bitcoin dominance. I believe this was your breakout from this W pattern. Yes, it is. I'll put it back where it was. You can see we had a lovely W pattern right here. This would be your price target. If Bitcoin did manage to push up throughout the rest of the week, top out here, come back next week, back test the EMAs, and head off to the races, I'm telling you, altcoins are getting destroyed. Why would they be getting destroyed? What are we looking at right now? We're looking at the Bitcoin dominance. This is the market cap taken up by Bitcoin. So it only makes sense, let's say, completely hypothetically, I don't think this is going to be playing out. Let's say the Bitcoin dominance goes to 100%. That means that the market cap is made up of 100% Bitcoin and altcoins go to 0. Like I said, hypothetical, just to make it super simple. Don't think that's going to be happening whatsoever. But you know, the general rule of thumb is the Bitcoin dominance moves up and altcoins get decimated. Where were we last when we were kind of chopping around in a pattern before a breakout? Well, this was actually just after the bear market, or this was coming into the bear market rather. And what do you notice? Bitcoin dominance absolutely rallied coming into the bear market. What does this mean? Well, Bitcoin, the percentage of the market cap of Bitcoin went from 35.5% all the way up to 73%. Like I said with our earlier anagram, if this goes to 100%, altcoins go to 0. So you could imagine how hard altcoins got hit when this went up to, you know, 73, 74% in December 2020. This is brutal. So the fact that we're having another macro move like this is kind of really spitting that altcoins could be getting destroyed, which is, you know, what I've really been talking about for quite some period of time right now. Let's wrap up the video. We've already talked about these warning signs and these charts. We've already talked about KDA against the US dollar, the potential breakout that we could be seeing if we have a big push above $3. Like I said, for a plethora of reasons, mainly looking at the Heikin-Ashi candles, it looks fairly black and white to me that this breakout would not be happening. But I could be proven wrong, and I'd be happy to be proven wrong and to buy a breakout. Like I said, I've been very conservative on this, sitting on the sidelines since 650. I am waiting for a place to buy, but at this moment in time, you know, the charts very much tell me that the bottom is not in at this moment in time. So finishing off the video with KDA BTC, like I said, I only want to spend like 30 seconds or a minute on each of these charts. What I really want to point out on this is, you know, we could remove all the drawings on this. What I really just want to, you know, have our eyes on is this very simple trend line. You know, it doesn't have to be absolutely perfect, line of best fit type beat with what I'm drawing here, but we haven't broken out from it. We're still very much in a downtrend. So this is what I want you to take away. Kadena against Bitcoin is currently bearish at this moment in time. If we bring back our chart, you know, your 786 Fibonacci, this was your last line in the sand, and as you can see, you know, now we've had this move below the 786, we come back, we back tested it, and now we're rolling down. It seems pretty black and white that Kadena is bearish against Bitcoin, at least in my opinion. I mean, well, I mean, it's not really even in my opinion. At this moment in time, Kadena is in a huge downtrend against Bitcoin. Could this be about to end today, tomorrow? It could. But I'd much rather wait until the charts do something like this and buy the breakout here than to assume that I know the bottom is here, because I'm telling you, no one knows where the bottom is. We're all just looking at the charts, trying to find information. We're trying to find good probabilities of good trades, and at this moment in time seems pretty black and white. No matter what you're looking at, KDA USD, KDA BTC, whether we're looking at the Bitcoin dominance, the total crypto market cap minus Bitcoin, or whether we're just looking at Bitcoin, everything's still very shaky, and I think altcoins have further to capitulate against Bitcoin. So for that matter, my trading plan at this moment in time is still the same. I'm still holding tons of Bitcoin. I'm not looking to get altcoins at this moment in time. We're getting closer and closer to my buying prices. I could potentially look at picking up some KDA around about $1 or 80 cents if we do go that far. But like I said, we've been sitting on the sidelines since 6.50. So worst comes to worst, we buy the breakout at $3. You know, is that really too bad? You know, people have been DCAing since 6.50. People have been DCAing since all the way up here, so I don't think buying at $3 is really going to be the worst thing in the scheme of things. You know, if people were buying up the markets anywhere around here, you're getting a better entry price by just sitting on the sidelines waiting for that breakout. So that's all I've got for Kadena. Looks like altcoins have lower to go. I hope you found some value in this video. As always, cowboy out, not financial advice. Peace.